West Highland ways.
The West Highland Way goes through the Allanda Park in Milngavie at the beginning. I planned this route from the beginning, but had to give it up because I started too late and the coming rain was closing in. MacLeod Castle. The original castle was built in the middle of the 14th century and could have had the shape of a shield with towers clustered around a courtyard and connected with curtain walls and building lines. In the middle of the south wall was the main gate. The castle stood on a natural rise with steep sides of volcanic rock, on the western edge of the MacLeod Loch, which was larger than it is today. From this early castle, only the southwest tower is completely preserved and forms the best recognizable building of the ruins. MacLeod Castle was built by Sir David de Graham. The Grahams were later involved in the Bishops' War, a prelude to the Wars of the Three Kingdoms. Due to intrigues of Lord Graham of Montrose against Archibald Campbell, he was imprisoned in 1641 in Edinburgh. After 3 years he returned to MacLeod Castle and took command of the royal troops in Scotland. After the defeat of King Charles I, Lord Montrose was executed in 1650. His lands fell to the Marquis of Argyll, who was also executed in 1661. After that, the castle was returned to the Grahams. Today the ruin is owned by the Central Region Administration. Behind the trees in the valley is the West Highland Way. Craigan Castle is the ruin of a country house. The lands of Craigan belonged to the barony of MacLeod in the Middle Ages, but by the mid-17th century the estate was sold to the Smith family. The Smiths sold it in 1851 to Sir Andrew Buchanan, the former British ambassador to the Habsburg court in Vienna. The Buchanan family leased the property several times. Between 1949 and 1954, an exotic zoo was set up in the stables of the estate. It was no economical success, lack of visitors. Thereafter the country house fell into ruin. Only the stables are preserved and are used as a visitor center. Back in the valley on the West Highland Way. Weather gets more and more Scottish. Behind the trees we see the natural landmarks Dumgoyne and Dumfoyne. Dumgoyne is a well-known landmark visible from Glasgow. It is a volcanic plug and is 427 meters high. The plug can be reached from the Glengoyne distillery. Close to Dumgoyne is Dumfoyne, 421 meters high, a similar but less remarkable and much less climbed hill. From these two hills, the much smaller but heavily wooded Dumgoyach, 108 meters, can be seen. The West Highland Way goes around Dumgoyach. Ardess is a hamlet in Stirling. It is located 2.9 kilometers from Killearn and 5 kilometers from Drammen. The Endrick water passes through the hamlet.
lecker Mittagessen.
Drammen, a village with about 850 inhabitants. It is located west of Campsie Fells with views of Bengoyne to the east and Loch Lomond to the west. The Queen Elizabeth Forest Park extends to the village. The entire area is part of Loch Lomond National Park, the first national park in Scotland. The Highland boundary fault is a major fault zone that traverses Scotland from Arran and Helensburgh on the west coast to Stonehaven in the east. It separates two distinctly different physiographic and geological terrains, the highlands from the lowlands, and in most places it is recognizable as a change in topography. Coney Hill is 361 meters high and is located on the eastern shore of Loch Lomond, next to the village of Balmaha. The hill is on the Highland boundary fault. From the top there is a great view over Loch Lomond and Glasgow. Descent from Coney Hill. Balmaha. The name comes from the Gaelic and stands for Place of the Holy Maha, which suggests ancient origins. Today it is a popular tourist destination, especially for the residents of Glasgow, but also for hikers of the West Highland Way. The village shop, a welcome opportunity to resupply. Its neighbor, the Oak Tree Inn in Balmaha.
Das war mein Zeltplatz. Alles klatschnass. Naja, heute stehen 8 Kilometer auf dem Programm, vielleicht noch ein bisschen Berg, aber mehr ist nicht.
A typical 13th. Tent all wet, too much weight on the backpack, the goal to hike up Ben Lomond dismissed. Instead, drying out the tent and lower the weight of the backpack.
Hinter den Bäumen ist Ben Lomond.
The wrong hostel, but a wonderful location, and dropped 3 kg of my load. The Loch Lomond bunkhouse with ranger station.